Okay, so we're going to do a little modification here today. Let's zoom out a little bit. So when I first bought the Can-Am Spyder RTL, my 2022, I knew that brake pedal was going to kill me at one of these days because it was just so flipping high. And I needed to figure something out to modify the brake pedal, lower the brake pedal, something. I was used to my easy brake on my Harley Davidson. It was just about sat flush with the floorboard. It was amazing. But anyways, I found that Le Monster had these things called floorboard risers, and as what they do is, don't mind the shaky camera, they raise your floorboard up an inch and a half, and you can see how close it is to the floorboard now. That helped. But then the other day, I got an email alert from slingmods about a new product. And this new product from slingmods is, I already cheated and blocked out my name and address so nobody can dox me. It's an adjustable brake rod. Now this thing here is supposed to be adjustable between 1 and 5 inches. Now what I am going to do, and it comes with a little baggie and instructions, and is what you do is when you adjust it, you check it, you can watch their read their instructions on their website, and you adjust it to where you want it. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to remove the Le Monster floorboard risers, and I'm going to start from scratch to see what kind of throw and how it's going to benefit me, because my right knee is plumb worn out from 31 years of crawling around on concrete floors and crawling in and out of industrial machinery, on conveyor belts and grease pits, you name it. I crawled around in it. So I'm going to throw this on pause because you don't need to see me removing the Le Monster hardware and reinstalling the floorboard and the brake pedal and everything, but I will compare the two brake rods side by side so we can all get an idea of that. So here's the slingmod one, and I can tell you right now, I unthreaded this thing, and you got, oh geez, you have to have 6 inches of rod that you can play with. So if you can't get an adjustment that you like with this, you got bigger problems. All right, so let me throw this camera on pause while I do some bolting and unbolting, and I will get back to you. All right, bye. Okay, as promised, this here is the factory rod, and this here is the slingmod rod, completely collapsed. As you can see, there is a significant amount of difference. So grab the tape measure real quick. So slingmod rod, and it's completely screwed in position. You have, well, from the center of the clevis where the bolt goes through, oh, there's another story in itself right there. You got 3 inches. So I am going to put the floorboard back in its stock position without the Le Monster risers, and I am going to see if that gives me what I get, because the Le Monster risers are 1.5 inches, and this is 3 inches completely collapsed, and that'll give me an overall of 1.5 and 1.5, well, 3 inches. So we'll see. And oh, now, speaking of the mounting bolts for the rod, I take the front one out, nice, okay. I take the rear one out, I look and I'm feeling for the nut, no nut. Well, the nut was gone. So that was, BP apparently was trying to kill me. So I would suggest that everybody that has one of these, go and check your rear mount for your brake light switch there, and where it mounts onto the clevis. Make sure you have the holding nut. Thankfully, I have a bunch of SAE and metric hardware, and that I was able to save it. Oh, and one other thing, in this baggie is a piece of heat shrinkable tubing. And when you get your new rod all completely adjusted, you're supposed to slide that heat shrinkable tubing over this last portion of the rod and heat shrink it on there so you don't get any corrosion or crud in there. But I am going to go one better. I am going to not use that heat shrinkable tubing. I am going to put Never Seas. And Never Seas will prevent any corrosion. So, like I said, check that rear mount. I tried to get the camera up there to videotape it so you could see what I was saying. I was horrified. Literally, I was horrified I was missing. So, when I put these back on, they're going on with some blue Loctite. And this here is a nylocking nut. And I don't think this one is, but it should be a nylocking nut, or a nylock. So that's my saga so far. Stay tuned, this will continue. Alright, so there it is in the stock position. Well, the floorboard in the stock position. The brake rod has been put in and adjusted to my liking. I did take it for a quick ride up the street before I tightened anything up. And so far so good. Let me sit on the bike and I will show you. Here's where you want to ride. And you just get your foot right on there. Take your foot and pivot it right on. I mean, I barely have to pick my foot up. I've already hit it so hard that I can lift myself right up out of the seat. So I will finish taking the Le Monster floorboard riser off on the left-hand side of the bike, and I will then I will take you guys on a quick test ride around the block. But yeah, I think that's going to be I don't think it needs any more than that. Anything more than that, it'd be too low. Alrighty, stay tuned. Alright, we're going to try this again. I already went on once, but for some reason, in typical action camera style, it did not record. So, yeah, we're going to give it a second whirl. Yeah, you stay there and don't kill me. So there's where, I don't know if you can see it. Looks good. Let this car go and then I will go. He's in the other lane, so I am going to rip it. Yeah. Good. Nice. I'm going to do a brake jab right here. Here we go, see? Nice and easy. Stops. Come in here. Oh, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Make a U-turn and head back home. I need lunch. Oh, stops on a dime. Yep, get full throw. Why'd you stop, buddy? Oh man, you could have went. Alright, seeing where we're sitting here because old people didn't want to go, and he had like a mile. Could have fit a tractor trailer truck in there. But anyways, here's a tip on the brake light switch on the back of the rod. When you start, don't waste time. Just pop that spring off and let it dangle so you can get that nut and bolt out on the back. Otherwise, you're going to be fiddle-farting around with the damn thing for 20 minutes before you know, get frustrated and pop it off. I should have did. I wasted 15 minutes. Trying to finagle the Allen wrench in there to get the nut and bolt out for that rear clevis. I just should have popped this. Okay, so as I was so happily saying, the action camera cut out again, just as I was explaining not to fiddle around with that brake light switch spring. Just pop that off as soon as you start. It'll make your life so much simpler. There's just no room, and that spring is just too taut to finagle an Allen key in there, an Allen wrench in there to hold that nut. And like I first posted, when I first said, when I started this video, everybody better check and make sure they actually have a nut on the back, because I did not, and I was fortunate enough to have one in my spare parts, my spare nuts and bolts parts. All right, so in closing, hey, that sling mod brake rod, that thing is awesome. I mean, I give it 2 thumbs up. Yeah, I highly recommend it. If you have mobility problems with your knees or your ankle, or if you're just a super tall guy and you need to lower that brake pedal a little bit, that thing is it. I like it. So again, peace and God bless.